Okay.
Hello and welcome to the Missed Q. Today I'm your host Jackie and with me is
Heidi.
And we have two very special guests. We have Mary Gomez.
Hi. Hello.
And
Kelvin Cruz.
Hello.
so we thought it would be really great to have you two both on because Kelvin just finished his first show with Grace Arts.
Yes.
Numero uno.
Yeah, and Mary is getting ready to head into Tech Week
Yay.
for her first show.
Like 2 hours.
Like in
Literally later today.
Yes.
So we wanted to have you on. We think those are two really diverse perspectives that are unlike others that we've had. And so we want to hear a little bit about the process and things you've been learning and go from there. Kelvin, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your history, and like kind of how you got involved with music?
Sure. So I've kind of always been involved in music, starting in like punk bands and pop punk bands back in high school, and just fell in love with singing really. And have always been kind of what I like to call a mimicker. Like I'm good with voice impressions. And with that, it kind of transferred over into vocals because I could sing and sound like certain singers. And so I've always done music. I did professional music for about 10 years, toured the country in a band, my old rock band, A Thorn for Every Heart. Have released several other projects since then, digitally and physically. Toured the country for 10 years just as the front man in the band. And then, things kind of went the way of the buffalo. And as things do, major labels swallow up those thriving young artists. And so that didn't work out. Still a blast. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Now do music independently as just for funsies and creative expression. And I saw my first play with Grace Arts last year. I've been living in Havasu for about a year and a half, but I've been coming here for forever, like since I was 6. I'm 42 now. Okay. So I saw Elf last year, which I loved.
yay.
I thought that was super fun.
Yes.
And then I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep an eye and see what is in my wheelhouse. And then I saw for fall was like Little Shop, and I was like,
Done.
You're like, yep.
You got it. So I was like, okay. And I was kind of on the fence, just time, logistics, and like, do I want to? Am I should I? And everybody that I talked to about, it's like, yes, just try out, just do it. And I'm notorious for like terrible auditions. Like it's just, with the exception of my old band, which was like, we've got 11 songs, just make stuff up and go. And I'm like, yes, you got it.
Like, this is
do
where I
all
thrive.
11, do them again. And they're like, yeah. And with the auditions, it's like, okay, we'll sing this, and all best laid plans. And I tried to pick something not from the play that I'm auditioning for.
Right.
But I went with a Sweeney Todd song.
Good choice.
So good.
And I didn't even go my obvious choice of a Sweeney Todd song. I sang Joanna. And
Wow.
I think I remember hearing you sing.
Yeah.
It's like, who?
it was, and I was like,
Who's that guy?
"Ooh," and I, typical Kelvin fashion, I did flub a little bit. I forgot or missed that, but I was like, really, bro? You only needed 60 seconds. And I was like, fine, whatever, just keep going.
Right.
Keep going. That's what this is.
Yes.
They just want to hear the sound of your voice and whatever. And I'm like, it's fun. Just it's for a play. What is it called? A play.
A play.
Play. So I did it, and it was well received, and they asked me to come back for the callback, and I was really interested in particular in playing the dentist or the voice of the plant.
Okay.
So I got called back for both of those, and I think they just saw the dentist in me, and I was tickled to be chosen. And I still make music independently on the side. I'm always writing. There's always something that I have that's not been released, but it's done. Here it is. I'm just waiting. But yeah, I love music. I love movies and film and cinema, in particular horror. And so I'm just going to be waiting and lurking for all those weird plays and weird parts and roles. Yeah. And of course, they threw me into a bunch of bit parts, which I love.
Yeah.
I'll do that all day, every day. Didn't expect to have so many in the first one, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I always love music. I love performing. I do enjoy musicals. I'm not very well versed. Like, I know what's in my wheelhouse. I know which ones I love. And that's what I'm kind of excited about, making so many friends with you guys and the community, and seeing like, oh, because maybe having known or heard me, someone's going to go, dude, why aren't you in that? Like, I don't know what that is.
Right. You're like, I've never heard that. And they're like, I hear you when I listen to this.
Enlighten me, please. Yeah. So, love music, love theater, performing, and really the play aspect. I'm a cosplayer. I'm a nerd at heart. I have collectibles. Me and my brother still buy each other toys for Christmas. We're grown adult men, most of us with our own children. But yeah, I love it. I love the aspect and the community of it, and I had to give it a shot, and I'm so glad I did.
Oh, we're so glad you did too.
You were amazing.
It sounds like you were made for it.
Literally, yes.
All of the experiences leading you up to it, your interests,
That's me, just
meant to be there.
A leaf in the wind. I'm just like, no life plan. Just was waiting for something to. Oh, it happened.
Oh, perfect.
There it
Here
is.
we go.
Yes.
The most lucky guy.
That's amazing.
Mary. Yeah, Mary, tell us your history and how'd you get here?
So I've always loved musical theater. Just grew up. Started Disney movies, and you know how it goes.
Yes.
Just kind of goes from there. But yeah, I've always been big with musicals. And then a couple years back, I worked with Allie, and she was like, "Hey, we're going to be doing Lion King musical, and like I think Nathaniel would love it. And does he want to audition for it?" And I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, let's try it out," because he's never liked sports. He's danced since he was like 6, I think. He's done ballet, so I was like, that's probably something he would love to do. So yeah, he auditioned for it and got into it, and ever since then he's been doing it. And then a year ago, then Ivan, my husband, got into it, and he's been loving it. And I was like, okay, I'm the one that like loves musicals and like introduced them to the family. So I'm like, okay, I should probably do it, but I'm kind of shyer than them. And then a couple years ago, I said, if they ever do Anastasia, which is my favorite musical in the whole wide world, it just is so special for so many reasons to me. And then, well, guess what?
We're doing Anastasia.
They did it. And so everybody's like, well, now you can't back out. You promised. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. So yeah, and I'm really excited.
How'd your first audition experience go?
Oh my God, it was terrifying.
Yes.
Like I literally thought I was going to throw up. And then we got there first.
It was
We were
rough.
the first ones there, but I'm like, I want to do it with my friends. And
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that was our fault.
Yeah, you did wait for us.
Heidi and Jackie are my friends, and like they were running it. So they're like, oh, well, we can't do it to the end. And I was like, oh, that's fine. We'll wait. Thinking like, oh, maybe like an hour.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Like,
It was 11:30.
11:30.
yeah. And so like me and Ivan are just like waiting around. We're like, he's like, oh, we should have gone. And I was like, I know, but I want to go with Heidi and Jackie.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was fun though, because like it was just us, and we went in there, and it felt like a safe space because it was with my friends. You know?
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, and I was the first one in our group, so that was nice.
Get it over
I don't
with.
think I could handle waiting any longer.
What'd you sing?
I sang the cover is not the book from Mary Poppins Returns. Yeah, I wanted to do something with a little more character, like nothing too serious and hard, because like I didn't want to have to stress too hard about it, and it was fun. I was the only one that she stopped the music on, so I was like, I'm dead. She stopped the music, but I
think
get
because it was 11:30, and they were like, we're stopping it a minute.
Yeah, we're like, we're done. We all want to go home, but I was like, oh.
No, I remember my first audition with Grace Arts. It was like I had finished, and then she turned to Eileen. I think Grace turned to Eileen and goes, "Make sure, do you have a timer ready? We're only doing a minute." And I was like,
"Oh God!"
I'm like, but I timed mine, and it was like a minute and 5 seconds. Like,
it's just 5 seconds.
Okay. So I understand that fear of like,
was it me?
Wait, was it
well, yeah,
me?
and then like afterwards, you're like, "Oh my God!" Like, was it horrible? Is that why they stopped? And like, it's not.
No.
It's totally not. We were all just tired and wanted to go home.
It was just late.
Oh my God!
That's
And so
all.
like I'm walking out, and like Allie stops me, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. Great job!" And I'm, thank you. Like, trying not to cry. She's like, "Oh."
Well, but we do that all the time. Like
All the
we
time.
have to stop a kid.
Yeah.
Like in an audition, we're like, okay, no, thank you. They like keep singing. We're like, no, we're
just
good.
out of, you just need
We
to,
heard
you're
you.
good.
Yeah, we heard it.
good.
They're like crying. I'm like, it's okay. Like
It's not personal. Yeah.
We have a lot of people to hear.
Yeah, no,
It's not personal.
But yeah, it was crazy. But afterwards, I think like even afterwards, after the experience was worse than before, because then like you're coming down from all of those like nerves and anxiety, and like then I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna like pass out. Like I just on the way home I was like, oh, that was crazy.
Yes,
but I'm gonna do it again, so it's fine.
it's fine. I'd like to say it gets easier, but
yeah, no, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
I doubt it. Yeah. But like all of my family, like my niece and my nephew, Sam and Zach, they do it, and it's exciting to just be able to do it with all my friends and my family, and that's
right. That's
really
the best
what
part.
drew me to it. Otherwise, other than having to stick to my word, but
Wow.
Right.
yeah,
You promise.
yeah,
You're like, oh, I'm never saying anything like that.
right. Well, it's okay because Melissa, our friend, she said if they do Mean Girls,
Yeah.
She would audition. Well, now it's out there. It's on the podcast. So
Yeah.
if we ever do Mean Girls,
she's gonna literally murder
Melissa
me.
better be
She
auditioning.
is.
I hate you
so-
forever.
Like you're gonna get yelled at after this episode is released, but it's fine.
It's fine. She loves me. It's fine.
All right. So, Kelvin, you just finished your very first show with Grace Arts Live. Please tell us about that experience.
So it was so amazing. I had a blast. I was ill prepared, as I am for many of my endeavors in life.
I love it.
But I just couldn't believe how quickly it came and went.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. So, and this was not even just my first with the Grace Arts, but like first ever.
Ever play? Yeah.
School, elementary school. Okay, I played the hare and the tortoise and the hare.
Okay.
But I was one of two hares, you know.
Oh.
Right, of
There
course.
was
There's
two
got to be two
turtles,
casts.
two hares.
Yeah.
Small class. But yeah, just jumping into it, because I'm, Mr. Frontman, loosey-goosey, like learning my marks, stage left, stage right, which I thought I knew, but when you're, probably was the bane of Jason's existence for the first little get-go. And then I'm like, okay, so this is, we do our homework and stuff. Well, it turns out I wasn't doing my homework because I'm like, Little Shop, the dentist. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I know that song pretty well. Oh, it's a little different because there's a lyric change. Okay, no problem. And then they're like, it's time for just the gas. And I'm like,
What?
That's you, Kelvin. Oh, the dentist has two songs. Two songs.
Okay.
Sure, let me just read this book here. And this song I've never heard of in my entire life. And we'll get there. It's just the gas. It's just the gas. Am I here? So that was fun. And then, of course, I think Carmen came up to me or had texted me or something during the run, and which I love Carmen.
Yes. Carmen.
Every episode.
Love Carmen.
Love Carmen.
So I got a little text. So Jason was wondering, it's a small cat. Would you be willing and able to do other parts? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Like, and I think they were like, well, it's like Wino or Bum number 2, and they could customize. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Oh, wait, there's 2. Oh, okay, there's 3. No. Oh, yeah, no problem. I can do the prologue. Yes, I can be the narrator. Yes, I will be the DJ. So at the end, it ended up being 10 parts.
Wow.
8 costume changes.
Oh,
Jesus.
3 of
For your
those.
first show.
Yeah.
3 of those are quick changes
Yeah.
in one song. And all of those characters have singing parts.
And those songs were so hard. Like the music.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even imagine.
The Meek is the bane of my existence.
yes.
The me.
And it was like, oh, cool. Hey, Kelvin, all your weak points as a singer, let's put them all in one song. And I'm like, and then I'm like kind of deaf because way too many shows, no
Right.
earplugs, just more of me in the monitor, please. And now I'm like, okay, where's my key? What is that? I'm listening for this song.
You're like, sweetie, honey, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that little noise is my cue.
That little,
Okay.
That's it.
or like weird pause, and it's the melody's kind of the same, but the pausing and the way that everyone's just just enough
Little
different to piss me.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'm like learning that. I'm like, oh, okay, hello. It was just like curveball after curveball, but you just have to roll with it and be able to go. I feel like I kind of function better like that than maybe some people.
Yeah.
No,
And
I would cry.
yeah, there were so many things, and then like, oh, now we're throwing the wardrobe in there, which was fun. Like, okay, when we're
Right.
trying it out, and I'm taking all the Polaroids, and I'm Miss Loose in a little dress, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be hilarious. This is great. This is great. And then I'm like, oh, and then I'm realizing, oh, all three of those. Oh, that's the same.
Same song.
Oh. Oh, yeah, no problem. We'll get it. We'll get it,
fine.
Jason.
It'll be
I'll
fine.
get it. We can do this.
Yes.
And we did. And we
Yes,
did. And it was
did.
so fun. And all the little hiccups and the things that made it hard made it even funnier and more fun.
Right.
But really, just buckle up, honey.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Thank you.
Roll with it.
It's gonna be okay, Mary.
Best advice. You're in good hands. You've got friends in the theater. You've been watching it. You've got the hubby doing it.
Yeah.
You'll be totally at home in your element.
Yeah.
Now you just have to be one of the cooks in the kitchen.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I loved it. I would love to do it again. And I feel like a part of it's going to be me lurking in the shadows going, when's the next weird one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
When's the next weird one? And then the other part,
amazing in Spamalot.
the other part's going to be somebody going, well, there's this guy in this and that could do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm kind of curious to see like what might come.
Sure.
But I'm all for it, and I'm obviously going to be looking and watching and supporting. I'm definitely going to come to Anastasia,
Yay.
and I will be coming to Annie as well.
Yay.
So I'll just wait to hear from all you ladies and see like what's the date that you need the people to
Yes.
represent.
Right.
We
We
need
need,
the voice of the
audience
crowd.
this day.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I found that was something interesting too, like
Yes.
learning the feel and the flow of the theater and the town and
Yeah.
what days. And it was fun because, like, you know, the matinees, because of the snowbirds and just the town in general. Like,
Very full.
I like to go to bed early too, guys,
Yeah.
or at
Right.
least be done with being
Out and about?
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get the matinees being popular, but like the energy and the response is different from
Different
the
on a-
nighttime
Yeah.
crew.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Jump in.
So, like, as an audience member, like, how do you prefer the audience? Do you like it when they're like cheering and
I
like,
love getting
high
the
energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even like with Oren as the dentist, like I tried to work a little crowd magic.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Say ah.
Oh yeah, that's so
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, this side. Say ah.
Yeah.
And
Love
then
that.
everybody.
Yeah.
And there were a couple nights where they were just really
Yeah,
giving it,
that's
and then people backstage can hear it, and then we're
that with
like,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even like when you hear like something else going well, it's like you're like, oh yeah, this is good. This is
Yeah,
gonna be a good.
because that's what like when you're in the audience, like people aren't cheering. You're like, well, I mean, I'm gonna start it because
Yeah.
I feel like you're on the stage because you
We want it. We wanna hear it. Yeah.
Or you'll get like I would much rather have like the people like that start trying to clap and stuff like when a song's not quite done and like
Yeah.
oh that was good oh no
But they're just so excited.
Yeah.
They just love it.
I would rather have that than just crickets. Oh, is that,
Yeah.
now?
Oh, it's over?
Can we
Oh.
done?
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll find, and I feel like some of our best were some of our maybe half full night
Yeah,
performances.
it's just the people who are there.
They're just having a good
Yeah.
time.
and they're just
Loving it.
into it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a blast. I feel like there's not a bad place to be in that theater either, like
Yeah.
because of how close it is.
Yeah.
And I didn't really. It holds a good amount of people.
200.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, this doesn't feel like it could, but it does. And I'm like, you've played to this kind of club size before. It's just different because there's chairs. Now.
Right.
There's chairs. This is where the
like,
mosh.
this is a similar
Who's
setting.
going to mosh here?
Nobody's
We need a
dancing
mosh
along.
pit here in the front,
Yes.
please.
So I think it was a blast. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I'm
Right.
sure I will. You never forget your first.
Yeah.
That's
And-
true.
And I loved it. What did Jason? He was like, "You don't have to be so loud because you will be mic'd." And I'm like, "Yeah, oh, you can, no problem. I can tone it down. I'm
Yeah.
just bringing it. You know, like I'm used to singing and screaming over a drummer, a bass player,
Right.
a guitar player,
Yeah.
everybody. I'm like Oh yeah, I can sing live.
You're like, oh, it's just me and a track.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
My monitors aren't working. Well, I'm gonna sing live. So we don't. That's the only time I've given that note, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, those notes that you held, though, like, that was insane.
And that's funny because I'm like holding, and he's like, when he tells me, and I'm like, oh, okay. And this is all during like audition. We're like practicing and rehearsing, and I'm like, I'm all nervous. And now I'm like, I'm like, I know I can hold a note, but how long do I? And I loved how free Jason was with like giving us like, feel it out. Like,
Yeah.
you'll know what feels good. And like, when he's talking, I do like the customer number one in the shop, and I come in from that little window. And he's like,
God, I love that.
That was my favorite
Oh, so-
part of
he
the
goes,
whole show.
"Oh," like, it was funny.
You just went full force. Like,
Yes.
you held nothing back.
Just goofball,
Yeah.
like
Love
ham
it.
it
That's the
up,
best.
chew the scenery. I think back to like so many like Adam Sandler flicks and like 80s flicks where it's
yeah.
like you're just that bit character that
Yeah,
right.
comes in for like 1 second,
Yes.
and they're like, oh, that was so funny. Like, that's why Rob Schneider has a career. It's just like,
Exactly.
you can do
Right.
it.
Literally. Like,
Now you get to be some random, and even Steve Buscemi, and there's like
Oh, yeah.
very well-known actors and people from just little stuff. So have fun with it. Get down.
Yeah.
Be weird. Be silly.
yeah, don't be afraid to be silly and weird.
Don't
and
be
maybe
afraid to
look
be silly.
stupid, like, because that's
Yeah,
where you
like,
bring the best character
I just
out.
ham it up. And for that guy, I'm thinking, when I was thinking of how to play that, I'm like, because Christopher Guest does such a great job in the film, and it's so simple. And I'm like, how can I do that? But like just more. And I'm thinking Jim Carrey. And then I'm thinking, okay, so think Jim Carrey kind of like very expressive in the
Yes.
face. And like, I didn't want to stop smiling. I just keep your dumb smile. Like, and then I thought of Hillary Clinton when those balloons dropped at that one rally.
Oh
and
my
she's like,
God.
Oh my God.
so that was my inspiration. Like, if he
Yeah.
goes to be up there, I'm like, oh, an eclipse. Oh, I've never, a planet. Oh, everything's like magical. It's like this guy's first time experiencing it.
Oh my
Dude, you can't break 100. Oh, why not? Well, buy more then. Like, that was just my go for that guy. And he
Oh
was
my
so
gosh.
fun.
Yes.
And that helped me like get loosened up for the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
And when it was dentist time, I was just in go
Ready.
mode.
Yeah.
Dentist time.
Right.
And then dentist dies, and I go, okay. Now
Now
real
you have to
push.
do Meek.
Big
Yeah.
push.
my
Big
God.
Meek shall inherit.
But yeah, what's your right now? What's your most dreaded moment that you have to prepare, and you're like, every time I know that's gonna be the one.
The Paris
Paris
dance.
number.
Dance.
The biggest dance number in the whole show. Yeah.
I'm not a dancer. I've never been a dancer. I'll never be a dancer. But I'm just having a great time.
I think you'll be in good hands, like having seen what Allie was able to
Yeah.
bring to Little Shop, and watching the urchins like just get down and really bring that
Yeah.
element
Yeah.
to the show.
Well, and everybody's really nice. Like, they know you're new, you don't dance. Like, they're like, okay, that's okay. Like, we can run it through, and I'll show you how to do it. And like, I asked Lauren last night, I was like, how's it going? Like, I've been practicing. Like, how's it? She's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you're doing really good. I'm like,
Aw.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. And everybody's
needed that.
resources, and everybody's happy to share. Like, here's
Oh,
the
yeah.
Dropbox. This is here's the choreography. We'll film it next time. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And anyone's willing to help you. You're just like, have to say, hey, can we run this? And everyone's like, yeah, no, I need to work on it.
Everybody's so
Let's work on
nice.
it. Let's run it.
That's
Yeah.
like it's like a family. Like,
It is.
everybody's, I mean, you fight, you
100%.
have great times. You know,
Yep.
like,
It's a family. For sure.
You're like
Yeah.
annoyed with each other, and
Yeah.
then you're in the next breath, you're like,
Like,
oh my
oh,
God,
I
thank
love
you
you.
so
I love
much.
you.
yes.
Yeah, I learned a lot about what I will do next time to
Yeah.
prepare better.
Yeah,
Like,
same. Yeah.
I feel like there was plenty of time for me to still kind of, and I did incorporate a lot of that in my own manicky, very weird way of like, okay, this is how I'm preparing. This is how I'm going to get ready. And it was a lot of on my own time, but there was plenty of time during rehearsals to find the beats. And then especially in the first few performances, like that was when it really was.
That's when you really like,
Because you can
lock in.
practice as many times as you want, but because of how many of us are doing
Yeah.
this and everybody's schedule, it's like you really have limited time. You're not going to perfect. And if you do, brava. Like,
Right?
well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say never.
Yeah.
But realistically, you're going to find the magic once you've been up there once
Yeah.
or twice.
Well, it's I asked Ivan, I was like, oh, this feels like, oh, it's going so long. But I'm like, once the show actually starts, like, it's going to go like that.
oh, yeah, it's so
like,
fast.
it's boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh.
I'm still dealing with my little shop withdrawals.
Oh,
Yeah, post-show depression is a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like, and then I had the benefit of Halloween and my girlfriend visiting this season, so I had stuff to
Something to
do,
do.
and now I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back to like, okay, just work. And I was like, podcast. Oh yeah,
Every there. Yeah.
Yes.
I can't recommend and be so happy for you because we're like both in this club,
I'm so excited.
this club of new.
Yes.
Well, and listening to him talk about how he should have done his homework made me think about you after the first musical.
Oh my God. I was such a mess. Such a mess.
So tell us how this has been going for you. Because his story, I'm like, oh my God, Mary connects with that. I know she.
Yes.
Let me get ready.
Okay. Yes.
So I showed up to the first music rehearsal, and like I said, like Anastasia's always been a part of my life. Like it's so special to me. I know that show in and out. I know all the songs. I'm like, oh my God, I got this. Like it's fine.
Right.
And then I get
fine.
there, and she's like, okay, you're gonna do the harmony. And I'm like, oh, what's that? Because as far as like music experience, like in high school, I took a few years of music lessons, but that was it. And like, you don't like, I mean, I always sung like Phantom of the Opera and like, you know, more soprano stuff. And then she's like, oh yeah, you're with the altos and you're going to do the harmony. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And then here's the music. Do you know how to read music? I'm like, a little, no.
No, there's I think they're called notes.
Yeah.
Like, right.
I see it's going up and down. Like,
Yes.
Yeah. So then we're running through, and I'm kind of a perfectionist. Like if I can't get something right away, I freak out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a failure. So, and so we're doing this, and I'm just like, I'm locked in, but like my husband keeps all like, fix your face. Fix your face. 'Cause-
You
'cause
look very stressed.
Yeah, because he was like, you look like you are panicked. You look like you want to run out the door right now. And I'm like, I don't get it. And I thought I knew these songs, and I'm like, I don't anymore. And I'm questioning my whole life.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I cried after the first one.
But you did homework.
I did after that. Well, because I feel like you need, because there's the SoundCloud where she releases
Yep.
all of the music, which is
Helps a lot.
amazing.
Amazing.
But if you don't have your script also, like it means nothing because,
Right.
you know,
Right.
so what I learned is that I need to get a script and prepare before even the first, because if you don't, then you're going to show up and you're going to be
Yeah.
totally lost,
Right.
because that's how I was.
Even if you're all singing, and I am the worst musically trained musician because I should know these things. Like I cannot tune a guitar by ear. I know do 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 do.
Yeah.
Like I can hear
It's all just
it.
feeling.
I know what key. If I'm flat, I know I'm flat. If I'm sharp, I know I'm sharp.
Yeah.
But like, don't ask me like what key is that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hit a high C.
I know
Ring a
Carmen's all
bell
like,
and I'll
right?
match it. What do you want? What do you want me to do?
yeah.
And so like there's people in class reading their sheet music, and I'm like, singer, where's the lyrics? What pages are the lyrics?
Right.
Yeah, like
I
Carmen's
feel
like
you.
yelling, like, oh, whatever the word is to like go louder. And I'm like, okay, she's speaking Latin to me and I don't know what she's
Don't
saying.
know what she.
Yeah. Fortissimo. You're like, what?
Yeah, okay. But no, she's so sweet because like, and then she kind of like looks at me and she's like, that means this. And I'm like,
Okay, thank you.
I needed that translation. Thank you.
She's amazing. And she'll like, yeah, she told me, she's like, don't be panicked. Just, you know, take your time on it. And yeah, she's so sweet. Like, that's
awesome.
Because yeah, like I said, my face was not great that night.
You're right though. Like again, you can listen to things as much as you want, but until you know what part you're singing,
Yeah,
and
it
have the
doesn't matter.
actual music in front of you,
Yeah.
whether it's the music or the lyrics, like if you don't have it right there,
Yeah.
and then I mean I know there's people that practice songs and then you go to the rehearsal and it's like,
Well, it's
oh, that's
different.
nothing like what.
Yeah, sometimes they're not even the same.
As soon as
Right.
everybody's singing together, like I lose it. And I'm like, oh, I'm listening to them sing and
And
I'm
not
forgetting
your
my
part.
thing. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, there's
Well,
so
and again,
many bits.
like Heidi said many episodes ago, like you have to sing
yeah,
and
I was
dance
gonna say that too.
and
like,
keep your
and
face
keep your
on,
face.
and remember your blocking.
I am learning that for the
That's
first
why
time.
it's hard.
Theater is
Theater is hard.
right?
Because like we're doing Land of Yesterday, and at the end of it, we're holding this long note, but we're also in this line, like doing the grapevine, like all quick in
Oh,
a circle.
yeah.
And I stop singing because I can't breathe. I'm just like,
Sure.
and I need to sing. I need to keep like it's
Keep
just like you
Just keep singing.
You don't realize those things when you watch them on stage because you guys look.
Yeah.
Everybody looks like, oh, that's nothing.
Right.
They're in
No,
it.
it's so
Right?
simple.
Like
So simple.
nobody's breaking a sweat.
It's
Like,
magic.
yeah, no. As soon as we finish Land of Yesterday, I have to grab my inhaler. It's like, yeah.
I used to cheat when I was in the band, and if ever I was struggling or needed a minute, I would just act like the mic cord was all messed up. I'm like, look, put this out. It's the microphone.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Oh, it works now. Never mind.
Just trying to get a breath.
And we're back in the show now.
Nice.
Can we do that? Is that a thing?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No.
No, don't
We
ever
can't.
do that. I definitely didn't
Not
tell
in
you
live
to
theater,
point
no.
at your earpiece and your mic.
No.
Never do that.
it was funny the other day. We were doing a dance, and in the middle of it, one of the other girls turns around and goes, "What's the alto part here?" And I looked at her and I go, "I'll be really honest with you. I don't know."
She's like, I'm
Just
lip
trying
singing.
to dance right now.
And I was like, and I'm like, okay, I was dancing, and I was like, no, I know there's an alto part here.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
was like trying to find one because I feel like I have a pretty good ear, and I
Yeah.
can find the harmony. And then I'm like, I really.
Not while you're dancing.
But I'm like, I'm really only hear the melody. So we finish the scene. I go over and I open up the music score, and I'm like, oh, it's because we're singing melody.
We're
there.
singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Like it's in unison.
Yeah.
My bad. But I was like,
Unison.
I thought it was just because I was dancing and like couldn't remember. No,
I literally rely on you and
Yeah.
Camaro. I'm like, what are they singing right now? Because I don't remember what.
Yes, you just find the person singing your part and
Yeah.
you have to listen to
Okay.
that.
Well, and again,
Lock in on you.
like yes, in a dream world, everyone knows every single part perfectly.
Yeah.
But the reality is, sometimes as long as one person knows it,
Yeah.
and you know who that is, and you, can match them,
match them. Yeah.
perfect.
You're great.
I know
Yeah.
Carmen is not going to want to hear that, but
Sometimes that's
sometimes
what
you
happens.
just trust that someone knows it enough that you can follow them.
Right.
Yeah.
Man,
100%
I'm just
teamwork.
thinking about all the dancing, and I'm like, dang, I got to try something with some dancing. I mean,
They do.
It's a lot.
I mean,
I got to make up my own shtick as the show went along and kind of swagger my way into what my rhythms were. It's the very same as like when I used to be on stage, but I think I could dance. Oh, show me the number, Mr. Director. I'll put my tap
if
dancing
you do it
shoes
enough
on.
times, you'll get it. Like,
Repetition
to
is
keep-
everything,
Yeah.
and like even for me, like what helped me to learn a lot of my lines and kind of really fast because I kept finding more parts. Damn, there's another one.
like, oh, that's me too.
Oh, I'm him
Right.
for sure. Why not? But like literally just writing out the
Yeah.
words, like I've got the script, but if I just copy that one
Yep.
time, it like it sets it in my brain.
Yeah,
and it
I
helps
see.
me.
It,
Did
like
the same
everybody
thing.
has note cards. Like, yeah,
Yeah, for me, it's
def-
the same thing. Writing it down is way easier. It helps me remember
Yeah.
it. And then, like, when it comes time for the actual show, making note cards or something, especially if you have quick changes or a lot of entrances, because the reality is you don't have time to pull your script out.
No, you have
and
to
look
have note
through
cards.
it. Like,
Especially starting tech. Like I can't go to tech.
Yeah.
I can't go to the theater right now without no cards.
yeah.
I was like, what time's rehearsal? Do we have time to make note cards? I'm just kidding. I have some.
You haven't made them
Yeah,
yet?
No,
No,
mine
you
are
have
made.
some.
Okay.
Mine are made, except for some of them. Like for the train scene, it literally says train, and then I didn't write anything else.
I need
'cause
to
was
add
like,
more, but things also change this week. So we're going to reblock tonight. It'll be a whole new
New
ball
note
game.
cards.
Yeah, so tonight's her first night on the stage.
Yeah.
Excited.
Very excited
I'm
for
so
you.
Excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'm really excited though.
Yeah.
It's very different once
It's
we
just
get to
going
the
to be
stage.
so cool to see it all like come together in actual space and like really get a feel for it. Because like right now we have all of this room and there's not
No,
much
it's
room on the stage. So
yeah.
No. It's the one downside of having the two locations is that they're not the same.
Yeah.
And so
Very different at the studio.
Right. You're like, oh, look at all the space we have. And then you get to
Yeah.
the stage and you're like,
Oh.
this is what we have. And they're like, oh, by the way, there's these big window panes that are going to come in.
Yeah.
So the space you think you have
have less.
about way less.
And well, that's like I'm excited to like actually be interacting with the set pieces because
Right.
right,
Yes.
now we're like pretending to fall on top of a bar.
I know. It's very
Right.
hard. I'm like,
I'm literally just like
On the
hanging over Kira. Like,
yeah.
Right.
It is much better with actual set pieces and props. Once you have your
props.
prop, then instead of faking it.
You're not like cheersing with
no,
air.
because I know that I'm suddenly holding a drink and then I'm clapping. I'm like, you know that you're gonna have a drink in your hand. You can't do that.
Where am I putting
So yeah, much different.
Yeah.
And then the props will change, and then the size of the table will change.
Well,
and the
yeah.
table- But that was a cool part for us. It's such a small thing, but it was just like there's a big old plant in here, guys. Like,
Right.
Like building. You had a full building.
Yeah, and the whole facade of the shop looked great, and we fine-tuned it, and there was still adjusting after that first weekend. But I
Yeah.
felt like by the time, and then I'm so, oh, you painted? Oh, this is totally
Things just change every day.
Because coming in, it was cool to be in the theater. It was
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. But then, really, it was pretty bare bones.
It won't
at
be
that
done
point.
tonight.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I know.
By
But when
Thursday.
you first, when you
Friday.
first kind of have it going, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is game
Yeah.
time, and it makes
Yeah.
it so much easier to play.
Yeah,
once
when
you've
you're in
got
that
all the pieces.
space with
Well,
the
and you
stuff.
slowly start adding. So it's like, okay, we reblock on the stage, and then okay, oh, now we're going to add mics for some people. Oh, now we'll add mics for everyone
Yeah.
who has a mic. Oh, now we're adding costumes.
Yep.
No,
Yeah,
now
keep
we're
adding
adding
layers.
lights. Now and then finally, like opening night, you're like,
All
this
the
is what
things-
it is when it's all together.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah, lights is a whole other thing. I forgot about that.
So
Yeah.
You think you know the show, and then there's lights, and then
Really?
you can't see.
You're
Oh yeah.
blinded.
because you can't see backstage,
Yeah.
and then you can't see on stage because you're blinded. It's just very different when you have lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carmen had a magic wand for me for
Yes.
Ding.
Love her
I
magic
can't-
wand.
The magic
What?
wand's gone. I only
Yeah.
see lights.
She has a
Yeah.
glow stick in the back, so she'll cue you in for
If
your
you need
entrances
a-
if you
That's
need
a
it.
little help.
amazing. I love that.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked all the like little the happy magics that you find along the way because
Yeah.
you might have just one moment, one scene where you're close paired up with somebody else, and you just one night you do something and you're both like, oh, that's good. Let's do that
keep
again."
that.
And
That's
then
good.
you keep it,
Yeah.
and then by the end you're like, this is our part. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're ready for it. I'm
you're
ready.
Yeah. Well, and that's the one thing I never realized before doing theater, how difficult it is to ad lib. So like we're
There's
in
a
the-
lot of
Yeah. We're like in the market and you're like shopping, but you're supposed to be having like these discussions. And I'm like, what are we talking about? yeah. Yeah. And like it's some people like when I'm with Ivan, it's totally easy because it's natural. Like
Sure.
and then,
Right.
but like when I'm with like Lee, I'm all like, what's up?
Hey,
Like,
buddy.
yeah. So it's just it's something that I never thought about,
Yeah.
and now that I'm doing it, I'm like, okay, like this is a whole new
Make it look
aspect.
real.
Yeah,
Improv.
improv.
Calvin, were you given any good advice? from anyone during the process?
Many times, multiple times. I don't. It's like almost a. Was it advice or was it just like, you gotta get that right?
Right.
No, but yeah, I mean, Chris right out the gates. Chris right out was like, no cards, no cards. Look at these.
Oh yeah, he's a perfectionist.
meticulous,
with his
and then
note
he's
cards.
got because I told him what I was doing to help myself with lines too. Is I would just get out my voice recorder
Yeah.
and then I would do all the parts. So like there's probably still on my phone where I'm like I'm doing Seymour, Oren, and Audrey.
nice.
And I'm like, it's
That's
the
smart.
scene in the shop, and so it helps me get the beats, but then it also helps me learn like if they're missing something or if they missed one line, like how can I sneak in one that might remind them
Yeah.
of that so
Yeah.
we still get to play. Like there was a little bit of that, and I feel like especially with me and Seymour with our dentist and the death scene, there's a lot of back and forth and give and take. And Alex had so much. I could just see him every day. Like I'm like, wow. I'm glad I'm not Seymour.
Right? You're like, phew.
And talk about like physical acting and comedy chops. Like he
Yeah.
was perfect. That boy is my Seymour.
Yeah.
He is
Seriously.
He is. Seymour.
And like you can tell that people when they bring this energy to the role and you feed off that and it helps you be better. And there was just endless amounts of that for
Yeah.
this whole show.
Yeah.
And I kept telling the girls like they're the glue that holds the whole freaking thing together.
I love
Yes.
when they're like,
They're the narrative,
just
they're
behind
the
watching
performers,
everything.
they're dancing.
Yeah.
And then backstage was like always a party. Like it's like
Yeah.
if the urchins are on their opening number, like I'm back there as a bum dancing.
right.
I'm excited
everybody's-
for all those shenanigans.
Everybody's
Yeah.
jazz hands,
Yes.
hands in, and yeah, it's a real blast and fun to do, and just that's the thing. That's my best advice to give. Back to the question, I'm rubber and butter. But yeah, just keep remembering it's a play.
Yeah.
Play.
Yeah. It's supposed to be fun.
Cosplay. You're playing. You're not the real person.
Right.
It's okay.
Right.
I know I'm not Steve Martin.
Right.
I know I'm not all these people.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you have fun with it and you trust your cast and you know if one person in the audience has a fun time, you did your job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If they're enjoying it, that's it.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you do have a bad moment or a bad spot, it's just a moment. It's just a spot.
Yeah.
Just keep
Keep
going.
going, yeah.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
If your inhaler flies out across the audience,
I was there for that.
just keep going.
That was amazing.
That was probably one of the two favorite like mishaps for me. The inhaler flying, because it was just a regular asthma inhaler,
Right.
Yeah.
But it's spray painted, and I assumed it was glued. And I noticed like maybe weekend 2
Yeah.
because I pushed it and I heard it go tss, and I was like, is this thing still loaded? And I was like, all right.
Oh.
I didn't think anything of it, but maybe when I did that, it busted a seal in it or something. And I went to get it out, and I did a very vigorous like whoosh.
Yep.
And I still had the nozzle, but that little cartridge just
Oh my god.
Into the front
right
row.
to
Yeah.
stage.
All
Didn't
the
hit
way.
anybody, but it cleared all the way stage right and just ding ding like right in the and
Out
I
of the
just-
audience.
Could you imagine just like right in the dome? Like, so I was like, oh
I
my
just
God.
turned right back, and I could
It was
see
very funny.
Leaf's face, and she's like, "Don't get close to me. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna lose it." And I'm like, "I'm not a monster," and I've still got this fake inhaler. The other real good one was the first night it came out as Miss Luce. It was a mess. Like the wig, we had to pin
Oh, yeah, it
the
was
hat.
barely on.
It was
Yeah.
just flippity floppity, and I'm so.
Yep.
I feel like Miss Luce, her neck is all toothpick, and she has the watermelon up here. She's all head like some kind of geriatric bud woman. Yes.
Amazing.
So at one of the performances, the hat goes, but it's still pinned to the wig, and I can feel it go, and I feel it bloop, sit here, and then I hear the laugh from the audience, like oh, and so I keep it there for a minute, and I'm going along my spiel, and at some point I just go. Bloop, and it pops back on, and it got another laugh, and it was
Yes.
a good little tidbit.
Yeah.
But we're just sometimes rolling with those little happy things and being like, oh, that's funny, I'm gonna use it, or like, oh, that prop wasn't supposed to fall over, but it just did. So
No, you just
We're just gonna go.
Yeah.
Roll with it.
just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
enjoy.
Just make it work.
yourself.
Make a
Yeah.
choice.
Work your magic. Yeah, and that's too much fun. And I feel bad for Alex. As the show got on, I was more comfortable, like
Sure.
being a jerk and like jabbing and poking.
Right.
And even one show, I know I booped him on the nose. I was like, I'll be with you in a moment. And literally went, boop. And scurried off to get my gas mask. And I'm like, not even thinking, like, how hard did he have to keep it together after I
Yeah.
booped him? Like, I don't think he
Right?
broke ever.
No.
And I don't think anybody broke.
Yeah.
I know Chris mentioned several times he couldn't look at me when I'm that first customer because he's like, it's too much.
Oh,
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love that first customer.
Yeah.
You walk by the window and you see you
Double
go
take,
back.
triple
The
take.
double take is it's just
I
like the
lost
movie.
it.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Too good.
So
too
good.
I can't wait to see the show with you guys. It's going to be so fun.
I'm very excited.
I'm looking forward to being in the audience. Then I'll hear all the magic afterwards.
Yeah.
Or the horror
Or
story.
the
The-
behind the scenes
A little
stories.
bit of both.
Yeah.
Mary, have you been given any good advice so far?
Daily.
Like if you had to pick the one thing that's been the most
one that
helpful.
really sticks out, and like I'm not gonna cry when I say it because it's just so sweet. So it was after that first music rehearsal, and I was like religiously practicing along to that soundtrack, and I was stressing, and then just all of those things. And so my 13-year-old son Nathaniel, who's like I said been doing theater forever, he was like, what's wrong, like, and I told him I was like I'm scared, like I don't want to mess up, like I don't want to let you and dad down. And he just looks at me and he's like, Mom, that's not even a thing. He's like, you would never, like, he's like, you could never let us down, we're so happy you're doing this. And then he was all like, just have fun, like you were saying. He's all like, you are there to have a good time, like have fun, don't stress. Like it was
amazing.
the best moment ever to like
Nathaniel.
that one time when like the person you
Proud
raised your
mama.
whole life to like turn it around and to like have a teaching moment for you. And I was like, okay,
Right?
Okay, I'm fine.
You're like, wait, I'm supposed to give you advice and
yeah.
you're giving
no,
me
yeah,
advice?
it was so sweet. Yeah.
Oh, love him.
So that was the best
Nathaniel.
advice. Yeah. And then after that, every day I've gone in there, I'm like, I'm not going to stress. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to just go with this. And, I know I'm not going to be perfect, and that's okay. Like, it's
okay.
just like, I'm literally like, I'm here because I want to make memories with my friends, with my family. Like, that is why I'm doing this. Like, to be able to be on that stage and have all of these moments and connections with everybody. Like, that's why I'm doing this. Like, I'm not here to be the next Bailey Vesely. Like, yeah, no, like, it's.
Well, and you're going to get the opportunity in the next show after Anastasia to be on stage with not only your husband, like you are this time, but also
but
your
also-
son.
I know, I'm so excited.
It's going to be a whole family.
That is
get-together.
very cool.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool.
I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. Like, just a crazy
Multi-generation.
Yeah, it's going to be so awesome.
Yeah, I can't
That could go on for a long time now.
wait. No.
You could say, like, we were the first generation.
Yes.
The first
and then
theater generation.
the funny thing, technically, the theater, my family, my dad's side of the family, were the first owners of that theater. They owned the first movie theater that was there in Havasu.
What?
Really?
So I remember, you didn't know that either? Surprise! Yeah, the Standals, we owned the theater. So I
did not
remember
know
when I
that.
was a little girl, like when the theater was closed, we would run up and down the alleys and we'd be
That
on the
is
stage
nuts.
just like messing around and dancing around, like in front of the little screen and everything. And so many
So
memories.
it's technically not your first time on the stage.
Yeah.
Technically,
Whoa.
like when my sister was a baby, she fell down those stairs in her walker. Like, so many things. That's where my parents met the first time, was
Oh
up in
my
the booth.
gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's so crazy.
So we have a
How did
deep
we just
connection.
learn this?
That makes you learn on the Miss Q.
I saved it for this moment.
I'm
like,
so happy you
This
did.
is podcast gold on the Miss Q. Dang.
Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool.
Well, we have two questions we always ask.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, I've been practicing. Okay, I'm ready.
Heidi, you want to take it away?
Okay. Mary, what are you listening to right now?
So this depends. If
Well, I think I know actually. But what else are you listening to?
Besides Anderson?
Yeah.
No, if Nathaniel's in the car, it's Percy Jackson, Lightning Thief.
Yes.
24/7. We have fully cast the show. We're ready. We're going to be petitioning it to Allie. Like,
Love it. Love
so
it.
no, yeah, that's on repeat if Nathaniel's in the car. If he's not in the car, I've been what have I been listening to? I mean, Between the Lines is like, so yeah, Heidi introduced me to Between the Lines, and it was literally a musical made for me.
It was. And I thought that while watching it. I was like, Mary's going to love this show.
Yes, I'm the biggest book nerd in the entire world.
Okay.
And so like Mr. Darcy just like speaks to my soul. Like, I need to be that one day. Like,
The show is so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So probably that one. Yeah.
Kelvin, what are you listening to?
Am I listening to? Good Lord. I'm certainly not listening to my own music. No, I do that. I'm notorious for doing that. Right now, one of my favorite bands is a friend's band of mine that I listen to religiously. They're called Von Kaiser. It's like an 80s synth wavy kind of throwback vibe,
okay.
but really talented musicians. My good friend and his girlfriend do it together, and they're just phenomenal and super fun and always putting out new music. Then there's a duo out in Texas called Prism, similar vein, but they do a lot of like Fleetwood Mac covers and stuff,
okay.
and bring like kind of an 80s touch to it. And they're both such good singers and crazy talented, and I hate them. That and gosh, what else? Ooh, Daisy Jones and the Six.
Oh, yeah.
My girlfriend turned me on to that whole show and everything. It's such a good show. Have you watched it?
No.
So the premise is, think of like a huge 70s rock ensemble.
Yeah.
And it's kind of shot almost like a behind the music, or like it's a documentary about this huge band. And they got huge and they played this huge concert, and then they just broke up and disappeared.
Okay.
And there's like a love interest thing with the lead singer and the lead guitarist. And the lead singer is actually it's Elvis Presley's granddaughter, I believe. So was Priscilla's?
Yeah. Priscilla.
Yeah.
Priscilla's daughter is
Okay.
Or no.
is-
Yeah, Priscilla's
is her-
Priscilla's
I forget her
daughter.
name. Anyways,
Yeah.
phenomenal, great show,
Okay.
amazing songs, amazing songs. You got to check it out.
Yeah.
But that soundtrack I listen to all the time.
yeah.
It makes me think of my girlfriend, and I just love that kind of. Similar to Little Show, like a period element. I think that's why I like synthwave and all that 80s stuff, is because it takes you back to a different time and place.
Okay. Yeah.
helps you forget about all this noise going on.
Yeah.
Not that I don't enjoy some Tay Swift or something along those lines.
Well, yeah. We all have our moments.
I'm a fan of it all.
Yeah.
I like me some
Nice.
bubblegum. I like the dark stuff.
A little bit of
Bring it
everything.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very eclectic.
Yeah.
Well, and then our other question we always ask is about if you've ever missed a cue, but I feel like we can't ask that until
No, not yet.
you've both
Yeah.
had a chance.
Next question.
So I think I
feel like we skipped
I
that
feel
one.
like we can't skip it though because Kelvin looks like he's got to.
Oh, you have an answer for this.
We're waiting.
Okay, so we'll come back for Mary's in a future episode. Yeah, but I feel like Kelvin, you have something you really want to get off your chest there.
Missed cue.
Have you ever missed a cue?
Describe a cue for our listeners.
I already know.
Verse.
Heidi, what's a cue?
Oh, okay. So when you're supposed to be on stage at a certain time, or you're supposed to say a certain thing or do something, that is your cue.
Yes, I missed a cue entirely. It was,
The first show, right?
I think it was the.
Pretty sure I was there for it.
It was either the first or the second.
Yeah, it was-
show,
yes.
but it was one of the first ones, and it's Patrick Martin who is my final character of the show. The last guy that I learned, the last guy that I knew existed. And I come out and I do my thing, and I think it was because the night before I was so hung up on this costume change and this ghillie suit.
Into the ghillie suit,
And
yeah.
coming out and not wanting to do, this is a vanity choice, Kelvin. You made this. You have to own up to it. I hated the ghillie suit. I wanted to make sure I came out and took the bow as the dentist. So I spent all this time making sure, okay, I layered it perfect. I
Right.
had it, nailed it, done it. It's ready. Do my part, finish my part. Go
In the ghillie
start to
suit
change.
too soon.
You only finished the first part of that character. You literally
Yes.
come back like 20 seconds later.
Yes. Oh
and
my
say one little thing. And missed it entirely. And it even
Oh, I remember.
somebody
Very
tried to
long
say, be like,
pause.
yo, come on, we need you. And I'm like, I'm
girls
changing.
are
Yes,
like-
I will
Right,
be
like,
there.
Yeah, the girls
hurrying.
are cutting the thing.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I saw
Snipping the
like
butt.
Mackenzie
Very
and
quiet
they were
right
like
now.
looking at each other, and I'm like,
What?
"What's happening?
I
Like, what am I
know.
missing?"
And
Why is it
Bailey's
so
like, I
quiet?
almost said the line. And I was
She
like,
did. She told me.
oh.
She's like, I was going to say it. You should have just said it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
just
She
say
did.
it.
She like didn't even like you couldn't tell from her. She was
Oh, no. She just kept acting. But
Huge miss. And I was
Oh,
like,
man.
no. Like the one
I can't
thing.
imagine.
And I was like, you know what? That's never going to happen again.
and it didn't.
You literally made the worst mistake, and you can't make a worse one. And it's never going to happen again.
Yeah.
And I never let it happen again.
Yeah.
You show up. If you look messed up, you just go with it.
You just
Yep.
go.
Something happened in the middle of your way to the parade, and that wig blew off or something.
Yeah.
I'm still that person.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, that was a big one.
Wow.
And I was like crushed. I was like, no.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And luckily, I think it was the first night because now I'm thinking
Yeah,
about it. And
it
now I'm
was.
thinking, okay. Because that's when I found out, we don't do notes at the end. We do them at the beginning. And
Yeah.
I was
Once
like,
the show starts, they're the next day.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, good. Because I definitely didn't want to sleep dreading this.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just.
Yeah, you do have to
Tomorrow.
sleep on it and
Okay,
wait
I'll
till the
just
very
go
next.
home and forget about this horrible mistake that I
I'll just
made.
go home and remember that I ruined the show.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
There's been so many times where he comes home and he's like, "I'm gonna get notes in the morning." And I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry."
I got some notes. The other fun notes were fun notes, and
Right.
it's just choices that were nixed, and some of them nixed a little later than others because our director did not notice them. Those were not clocked. I've been doing it. Okay,
Oh,
let's
well.
not. Okay,
Okay.
You're like, got it.
not.
Got it.
yes, sir.
Got it.
That's
Okay.
all we'll say. They were fun. In good fun. Nothing above the PG-13 rating that there was obviously in the subject.
Right.
Sure,
Right.
sure, sure.
Well, I am so happy that you both were on. I am excited
Thank
for
you.
your next show, Kelvin.
We'll see what it is.
Because I know it's happening. And Mary, I'm excited to experience Tech Week with you.
With you. I'm so excited for today.
What
and
time
tomorrow
is
is
it?
the next day.
I'm like, what time's rehearsal? Real soon.
Soon.
We better wrap this up.
Just keep the energy running.
Yeah.
I will tell you to break a leg.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll kill it.
Yeah.
You definitely
Yes.
have the passion for it,
Yeah.
the love, and the knowledge of the source material.
Yeah. Thank
Yes.
Yeah.
Own it. And lean in on that family. It sounds like they love you, and they'll get you through it no matter what.
Yeah.
And I'll see you from the audience.
Yay!
I'll be the loud guy.
Perfect.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, please.
We need the
Just
energy.
We want it all. Yeah.
You just tell me what you need. You need the claps. You need
the woos and the claps.
You need the laughing guy.
Yes,
the
the laughing.
infectious. Who's laughing? That is making me laugh.
Right? Exactly. That's what we need.
We always need that guy.
Yeah.
I've got a guy. I got a neighbor. Dave, you're gonna come see Anastasia with me. He's got a great laugh.
See,
Yes.
there you go.
He
You got
came
it.
to Little Shop. You heard him. He was there.
Until next time,
There's no excuse.
for a Mr. Lake
Thank
Q.
you.
No excuse, Kelvin.
Okay.